Okay.
Face to face.
Let's try this.
Okay.
Okay, so for those that are on the stream, rating research
Oh.
on April 9th. I'm doing it live because I don't want to turn it off. April
Oh,
9th,
you're addicted to this, aren't you?
yeah, at 6
Yeah,
p.m.
okay.
Central Standard Time, GMT minus 6. So this coming Monday. And I'm going to say your name wrong. How do I say it
You are
properly?
Ledan.
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 Okay, see, I was
Yeah.
saying Ledon. So,
Well, it's close. It's better than Leiden. People usually say
yeah,
that. It's horrible. Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
So she's joining us. We're going to do this awesome little live stream thingy. I'll have to fix the webcam
Okay.
later.
Am I
So,
live streaming right
you are
now?
right now.
Oh, no. Okay. Hi, everybody. Is it video as
It
well?
is video. It is now.
Oh, God. Okay.
Surprise!
I don't do this video stuff.
Well,
Sorry everybody, I'm probably breaking your video screens,
now
but
you have.
hi everybody. Nice to see you. I actually can't see anything. I should check out your live stream, shouldn't I, while
I
I'm
need to
doing
toy with
this?
the webcam a little bit, but
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I'm a bit new to all this. I don't usually even put. I like to listen to people, if anyone knows about my research, and so I'm not usually used to being in the middle of the fray, but I do find all this live streaming quite fascinating as a researcher, so Affinity agreed to talk to me about it some more, and then we decided it would be funny to make a live stream about live streaming, and it's sort of grown from there.
live stream
So
about live streaming. So
yeah, live stream about
that's
live streaming.
we agreed on what 6 p.m. for that, right? 6 p.m. on the 9th,
6 p.m. on the 9th.
and then we
Yeah,
said April 14th at 2 p.m. I believe,
we
or was it sooner
did.
than that?
Yeah,
Okay,
2 p.m. Central for you,
yeah,
correct?
2 p.m.
So yes,
Central.
because I'm in the UK. For those that don't know, probably can tell I don't sound
Divide
American,
and
but
Smasher.
um, yes. So it'll be the 6th on the
6 p.m. at
6
April
p.m. on the
9th. Right.
9th, and then 2 p.m. on the 14th. And you can get more information by checking out. How do you advertise your upcoming events when you do stuff like this?
Yeah, well, we haven't really done anything like this yet, so I've just been kind of talking about it. We'll
Oh,
probably
okay.
post more on our Facebook and our Twitter as we get closer to it as well.
Okay.
So we're going to throw this up. For those that aren't familiar with the Rating Research Project, I think this is probably the coolest thing that you could ever do. You're going to
Yeah,
school and researching a video game and getting a PhD in it. That's like
that's true. It is pretty
far,
awesome.
far too awesome.
Yeah.
So,
Well, it is. I'm lucky to be able to do it, and I've actually the quality of my work is more based on the feedback I'm getting from people and the input I'm getting from raiders, and I find raiders to be quite a fascinating group. They enjoy talking about themselves and
well,
what
yeah,
they've
obviously.
observed, and but it's nice actually because people like to talk about it, and it's made a major contribution to my work. I think. I don't think I could have gotten as far as I have with my work without the input of raiders around the world, really. And I've been able to talk to raiders in pretty much most major areas. The only area I've had a hard time connecting with are raiders in Korea, but that's partly because it's a bit of a tight-knit community more so than
Right.
others. So,
That's cool. So, I haven't been keeping a whole lot of tabs on some of this stuff, but I noticed that you've been very busy with a lot of your stuff, and we'll get more into it on the 9th on Monday. But I mean, God, you've done quite a bit since we did the Blood Legion interview. Because we did the Blood Legion interview, you did all those roundtables. You've done
yeah.
some people that I have no idea who these are for your last one. 25-man decline, new roundtable discussion. You've done Dream Paragon. You've done, I think, Method. You've done what, a Killers and Athene one. Um, you
Yes,
had
and
quite
well,
a
it's
lengthy
interesting
Exodus
because
one.
before I started publicizing my interviews, I was just doing them for my research. So obviously I was only publishing what I had permission to talk about, and
Mhm.
most of that's going into my actual thesis. But after I realized how excellent a lot of those interviews had gone and how interesting they were, I thought it would be nice to actually do them for an actual listening audience because I hadn't done that before. And I think what people have to say is interesting, and we like to listen to each other. I think so. That's when I decided to start doing them for a more public audience,
Mhm.
and purposely. So that's how it started. It actually started in December with all of the LFR band and all of the stuff that was going on with the other guilds, and then it springboarded into what I'm doing now, and I've started that YouTube channel and
Mhm.
trying to give a bit more of a public face to what's going on out there, which is good because I've been in contact with some people who are trying to do other documentaries. The BBC's interested and other types of public media. So my hope is that that will result in a greater attention to what's going on in raiding and seeing the benefits of gaming more so than what we've got now. Right now there's a lot of people like to latch on to the negative things, like for example. If you've got people who drop dead from deep vein thrombosis, which can happen if you sit still and don't move for a prolonged period of time. So if you've got gamers that have been doing that for 40 hours straight, then there is a higher risk of having a problem like that. But of course, we know that's very rare.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the kind of thing that gets in the news. So naturally, that's the first thing people talk about, are the major health risks, which of course isn't typical of what's really going on with raiding. It's other issues that people are interested in. There's a reason that you spend so much time playing. Maybe it's not always good. Maybe we should have more balance in our life, but it's not. You don't throw the baby out with the bathwater, and that's what I'm hoping to do with my research. So yeah, I'm happy that you're showing my website. That's great. Maybe I'll get some more votes. Although I need to put up a new poll, and I was wondering maybe your listeners have a suggestion. Actually, they're not really listeners. Are they listeners or are they viewers?
I guess you'd treat it more viewers. I know there's a lot of people that'll actually just turn it on and leave it on the background, but I guess viewers would be the better term.
Okay. I don't even know what to call you guys. It's a very peculiar. I mean, you step back and think about it. I suppose it's kind of a normal part of what we do in current society. You know, we have a lot of viewing going on, a lot of sort of voyeurism, essentially, where we're watching a reality TV, and I suppose it's not surprising that we've got the same thing going on with gaming. But I've noticed very recently, I'd say in the past 4 to 6 months, there's been a sudden upswing in raiding live streaming that's been going on, a lot more than what we had before. So I think that's quite fascinating. You should really push that over to the side and cover my face up.
You want your face covered? We can do. There you go.
I think we should see your face.
They see me all the time. Wait, I think it's
horrible. Anyway,
it's a really cool project. I'm sorry to spring that on you, but I didn't want to.
No. I had a feeling you might do that, so that's why I changed out my pajamas. So
I don't change out of my pajamas.
Well, see, I wouldn't have worn my glasses, but I have to actually. It's hard to work with my contacts in. I don't know if anyone else has the same problem when they're working and if they wear contacts. It's very uncomfortable staring at a screen for a long time and writing as much as I write.
Yeah.
So,
well, I think it's cool. Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
nice.
We'll have that on the 9th at 6 p.m. We also have, and you never got back to me on that. Are we adding more people to the 14th?
We are adding more people on the 14th.
Okay, so I'll need to modify the graphic then.
Yeah, we will. Devi and Smasher, and I've not gone through Deflay you, so let's just leave it as Smasher and Devi.
Okay.
If this goes over well and people enjoy it, we'll do another one, and then I can invite some other guys. But we don't want to overwhelm. If you want to have an American, and to balance you out a bit there, because we don't want you to feel cornered.
Yeah.
Infinity, because I realise.
We'll see. I mean, I'll see maybe if
a Finnish guy, a German guy,
maybe
and those
Rignoros
two are.
might be
They're going to be a bit scary. I'm a bit nervous about this. Because they're both good friends of mine and they're both a bit crazy, so it should be interesting.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah,
so it'll be
but
fun.
Smasher, for Americans, are probably not aware of him. He's really big in Germany, like just like the David Hasselhoff phenomena that hit Germany and everyone being crazy about him there. They have a very insular gaming community, and so they've got a lot of stuff that goes on within Germany or German-speaking countries that doesn't really reach out beyond Germany.
Mm-hmm.
And so they've got a very vibrant, big gaming community and much more that goes on just there. So actually Smash is quite a big name in Germany, although obviously we don't know him as well because we're not following along. But it's quite funny. I try to follow what he's saying, but I don't understand German. But his English is good, so don't worry, he'll be fine.
Yeah, we actually, surprisingly, we have quite the international viewer base. We have quite the international viewer base. So, you mentioned Smasher from For the Horde in Germany, and there's quite a few people that actually are familiar with the name that watch this stream. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good. So, right. That's good. And Devi will join in as well, and he's the sort of long-term hunter from Paragon, and he's just started doing the videos for Paragon. So I thought that would be interesting.
He's been doing. The he's been doing the POVs for them for a while because I remember seeing like their. I don't keep tabs on a lot of the other top end guilds. It's just not something I keep track of. But I remember some of his tier 11 videos as well. So I guess more recent for this expansion. But my understanding, he's been doing them for a fair amount of time at least.
Yeah, yeah. It's sort of a newer thing, but it's interesting because, what I find interesting about guilds like Paragon is that they've had over 1 million views on some of their videos. So,
Mhm.
there's that idea of deep dispersion and sort of kind of access to the community and wide interest in what they've done.
Mhm.
Obviously that's more video, but also some live streaming has started as well. And Paragon's generally been quite reluctant to do sort of ongoing live streaming, unlike guilds like Blood Legion or
Mhm.
Method.
Well, it opens up quite a lot of problems, and we can talk a little bit more about that, I guess, on the 9th and the 14th. But
Yeah,
it
yeah.
definitely it's a struggle trying to balance streaming and what's kind of behind the scenes with your guild and guild problems and that Rigneros streams. He's our raid leader. He's a very very effective raid leader. But there's a lot of people that don't agree with how he raid leads. And if you go back to kind of like when we live streamed our Vodka versus Blood Legion BlizzCon live raid, there was a lot of comments about his personality and how he excuse me raid leads and things like that. And now that he's streaming, it kind of brings that a little bit more to the forefront as well, because you really get to kind of hear and see from his standpoint as well. So I would say for kind of a high profile guild, it's really cool to be able to do it and really kind of interact with the community, but it definitely causes some balancing issues with that
It
as well,
does.
and it really kind of gives you more of an insight into your guild more so than you usually would have in a top end guild, especially US side. If you think of Premonition, who was #1 for a very, very long time, they're very quiet. They don't really live stream. They release their videos. They don't public world logs, and they've always kind of kept to themselves. So it's definitely it's new, it's exciting, it's interesting. People love it, but it's kind of it's a controversial topic when it comes to live streaming to that extreme.
I think so, yeah. I mean, it's like a whole new realm that we were going into, so hopefully we can kind of talk about that a little bit
Mhm.
more analytically, and I'd love to hear what your viewers think as well as far as how it's affected them and what the fascination is with this level of observation and kind of tracking. I do think that um, the educational side is interesting too from a rating perspective. People often want to see things so that they can improve or do better at it,
Mhm.
but does that how does that play into it overall? Is there an added fascination or interest that we kind of have that sort of surpasses that? So,
Mhm.
yeah, really interested to see, what we can kind of come up with and where we can go with that. And um, we have to talk through some of the mechanics too of like, how are we going to do, how do you do a four-way video with like live streaming? How do you capture it? Like some of the technical issues, obviously I don't know, but I
Mhm.
mean, are those things that are easy to do, or does that involve a lot more on your part to try and set up if we're going to have additional elements? And is
Mhm.
that something that, costs you money, for example, like
Right.
when you have to kind of custom set up calls that are more complicated and live streaming that's different? Or do you actually enjoy that challenge, as a live streamer?
Yeah, it adds technical things. We've got a lot of resources now, and this is why I think live streaming
Mm.
has done it has really kind of exploded now, especially in the MMO scene. Is we have software called XSplit now, and before you didn't really have this, and it's really just now. It was in beta for a long time, but people have been using it. And there really hasn't been a very easy client to use in the past, but now it's really kind of it's a lot more accessible. It does cost money to really
Mm.
kind of get into it, but from a technological standpoint, they just really offer something that really works well, and it's pretty simple to deal with, and it's just not something that you had 6 8 months ago to really be able to do something like this.
That must explain the sort of sudden upsurge that we've started to see.
Hmm.
As the technology is able to match what we want to do, it starts to transform the very nature of our community.
Definitely.
So, and we've always been a very technologically driven community, often first adopters of things, early adopters, and great sort of spreading the word. And it's a huge community for, new developers to tap into. So I think it's, again, another example of ways that gamers can really have a transformative effect on the broader society and not the other way around. So, you know, we just need to get ourselves out there in a more proactive way and putting these things forward beyond just strictly just having a bit of a lark and, you know, messing around and enjoying trolling more than, you know, having a slightly more serious but relevant edge to what we're talking about and why we're talking about it. I think that gives it a bit more legitimacy and perhaps people will take us a bit more seriously.
Mhm.
But that's okay.